since she worked with her.
A motion is needed in the closed session.
Okay, you ready? Are we ready, Julian?
It's slowly loading. Taking its time, and now we're good.
Make a motion to end the closed session, open the meeting to the public.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to submit Dudley Lush and Crystal Miller as one appointment, and Michelle Griffith and Lori Henderson as the other appointment to the state board.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, sorry, I should have. Dudley, come back. I guess you would have liked to have known. It's gonna be-
So Dudley, the board has decided to submit your name along with another candidate's name to the state.
Oh, okay.
So, and
Thank
what
you.
they do is they vet those candidates, and then if everything's okay, then they approve them and they send it to fiscal court. And then ultimately fiscal court chooses our board. It's totally up to the magistrates to
Okay.
decide. So, and then as soon as I know, I will let you know what's going on.
Okay, so do you want that application back? please?
Yeah, just for formality.
I'll bring it back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So we've got a lot of other stuff to talk about today, so I'm gonna hurry through. Every month we get a newsletter from Kentucky Department of Archives, and it looks like that. It's just reminders about turning in different reports that the state requires, opportunities for scholarships, things like that. The biggest one that affects us this month is there were changes to open records laws. Because we're having so many new people come on, I want to wait until we discuss those, and we'll have some training on that. So I don't want to talk about it spend too much time on it tonight. So our staff is doing really well. I think we just finished up our summer learning program, and we'll be getting statistics for you guys. Had a lot of fun programs. Everybody's burned out. By August, everybody wants a vacation, especially after this long year that we've had. We're keeping an eye on state guidelines for mask wearing. I don't know if you guys have heard, we've got another spike, and I don't know what the school's doing. I'm sure they're biting their nails and just.
Actually, right now, unless there is a mandate from the governor saying we have to, the school board voted last night not to
Wear masks.
wear masks. It's basically up to each person's individual.
Yeah. And
whatever they wanna do.
I really hope there's no shutdown, because all of my staff will go kicking and screaming, just putting on the brakes. No, it was just really hard for everybody to work virtually and close down. It's just not cool. So we do have a couple grants that we were working on. One of us is Workforce Ready Grant, and we've been circulating 5 laptops and hotspots to those who are working with Kentuckiana Career or Kentuckiana Works, and our adult education organization, Angela Stephan. So all of those are checked out, which is fabulous. We had a career fair today that was very successful, very cool. And I wanted the library's been working with a young man who I worked with at Imnitz. Came from a very hard background with family, and he dropped out of school. And I'm just so proud of our staff. He started coming in here to check out items. We invited him to a program. My staff fully embraced him. We were able to recommend him to Angela Stephan. Started working with Angela Stephan. She finished his GED. He got an internship at the CARES building with the Meals on Wheels program. He just finished his internship with that program, and now he's going on to college. So
That's fantastic.
that doesn't happen very often, but I just it's been a whole group effort and that's how my staff are. That's how we are, is You know, we might not make these huge miraculous changes within our community, but there is still that one-on-one connection that we do with people. And that's, I don't think you always get that with bigger libraries. So, and that's the kind of people that we wanted to help with these grants. So I think it's working well. I need to file that quarterly report. I was hoping to have that done. But I do have to return in receipts and statistics every quarter to the state for that. So. HVAC, woohoo! So our air conditioning unit has been down for about a month now. They were able to fix the air in here in the meeting room and the air in our staff area. My office still doesn't have air and the kids' area does not have air. And they were able to catch the leaks in those areas before all of the refrigerant leaked out. And that's one of our biggest costs with this system. So all that money that we spent about 2 or 3 years ago to put valves in to shut things down, that paid off this time. But we are be prepared for another big bill coming in. Our pavilion and playground area. So we did get that. Where's my big map? Here it is. Can you pass those around? So Ralston's excavation, we are wanting to put a playground and a pavilion in the back of our property. And Ralston excavation finally came and leveled. During the process, he changed the way the water flow was going to happen, the drainage. Originally, the quote was everything was going to be underground. But as we, during the process, and I probably should have been out there watching every minute, they changed it and they put a big swell, a U-shaped swell of rock around it. And talking with him, he said, this is the only way I could do it if you wanted to get that much property leveled. So I brought Dudley out to say, come on, what do I do here? It wasn't done how I wanted. We wanted it to. But Dudley, you want to step in at all?
It wasn't done the way you wanted it. But I can understand why he did it the way he did it. I mean, without spending a lot of money. And I think the concern is this gravel you see going around here, that's called riprap. And that's a state approved procedure. You people see this area here draining. He's draining a graveyard over here.
Mhm.
See, and I understand everything was to be underground, so I don't know about that part of it. See, I wasn't, but he did this to handle all this water that is going to be running this way. Now, is it pretty? No. Will it work? Probably yes.
Yeah.
But-
And I guess that's what I needed to hear, because it's like, oh crud, I'm not happy with how this turned out. Really not, because this is not, we wanted it to be, children are going to be in this area and we're going to have to fence this off now.
Yes.
We either have to bring somebody in, fix it and make it look prettier and get rid of the rock, or we landscape around it and fence it. So.
So they did that he did that without coming in and asking you?
Yes.
That's the part. If you didn't have a drawing, or if you had something like this from the beginning, and
Well, and I provided that to my board, and it just from what we talked about, this is gonna go here, this drainage here and that here, and we went through all the gas lines where everything are, and I mean.
He
so-
recommended that, didn't he?
He did recommend that he could do it underground and everything, so. Because like he said, I didn't go through this with him, but I provided you guys a map.
So now he's telling us that this is the only way to do it without spending extreme amounts of money.
But if he would have come in and said, this is the only way to maximize your level ground, I would have said, okay, so cut back on the area that we need to, so we don't have this big massive swell to deal with, this U shape.
another way to do this would be having him come in and take all the gravel out. And you're still going to have what they call the swell where the gravel was, which is a flattened ditch is what a swell is.
Mhm.
Having sod all that and stake it off. He'll know what you're talking about, I hope. But, and he'll have him sod that, not seed it and straw it, actually put the sod down. And hope it takes off. And that would handle the runoff if you could keep the sod there until it really took hold. And it would look good then. It would look kind of like a golf course. But
It would just need to be put in at a time of the year when you wouldn't be expecting. a lot of
Right,
How much of
runoff.
right,
a drop
right.
is it?
What's that?
How much of a drop
I think we're gonna have to go out and see it.
is it actually?
the area he worked
Do you
in,
guys want to go out and look? Because there's some problem areas there that we need to talk about. He was our lowest bid. The other quote that came in was almost twice as much as his. And this was about $10,000 more. Let's go out. I'm gonna try to bring his name back. There's a lot here. Is there a lot? Yeah, Dudley, I'll shut it and see if we can.
hey,
For those of you still with us, the board will be returning in just a moment.
I think I'm gonna join you. While I water. It goes through me like that.
That isn't super pretty, but it is workable, I think.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to have some fence or something around it, because little kids will be down in there and they'll have stitches and we'll get sued.
Liability wise, that'd be a nightmare. But yeah, if you have a fence,
Gee, it's cold in here.
Yeah, it's a shame they can't pipe the air conditioning from in here.
Into the other side. Ooh.
We
And that's
usually
the thing,
don't
it's
go
gonna
this
be
long, but
Just gonna be what I call a shelter house, just a roof.
okay, I'm just gonna go through what we didn't like. We just like this. We thought it was just too generic.
That's about what they got at Bedford Elementary, it looks like.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. We also did not like. So I got 4 different quotes. I'm missing the other one, but it was a lot like this. These are the ones we did like. From Creative Recreational. We love this one. This is a smaller unit,
Mhm.
and we got a different one. This is a larger unit that. would
Well, this
fill-
one's 212. So
So all the specs are on there. This was a quote that we got back in April, so we're gonna have to requote it.
I don't know. about
Do you have
and
another one?
Which one?
The green one, the green.
I'm not sure. What that is.
Yeah, I just say, I really don't know.
So on this green one, we thought this was so darn cute and it just
It looks like your logo. It reminds
flow
me
with
of your
our
logo.
theme and what we,
It's like something land.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's a little bit
Oh, thank you.
smaller. So the use zone on it is 37 by 23, age group 2 to 12. And then if you flip through the pages, you're gonna get different views of it, with the green one. And then we really love this, little frog, spring
Mhm.
frog.
yes.
And the little, it's called the Bumbling Betsy, so Betsy, if we get this, she wants her name on it. And then
Kids
the
love
little
those.
lily pad,
Oh, that's cute.
yeah.
I do like that.
Can I make a recommendation on the benches? A lot.
Yes.
Because there is never enough benches for parents, and so you're standing there watching your kids for an hour in 90-degree heat,
Mm-hmm.
and there's never enough benches, and utilize shade wherever you
Yeah.
can.
So you want 4 benches, you want more 44?
Yeah.
More.
Can I
Lots
say
more.
6-ish?
Yes.
Yeah, if, I mean, whatever space allows,
Yes,
but
but I would honestly
more
go
is
with
better.
I would go with whatever space allows, because I
Yes.
mean, especially if you have a program out there or something, I don't know if you're utilizing the playground for programs, but
Yes,
when you think of how many parents you got, you know, that are usually sitting in a program or watching their kids. It's,
My other request would be, look into a shade covering for the Emmett, Park and Emmett has a shade, Shade covers the canopy.
Well, there's,
I know what mine
That
costs
is-
about raising
That is
money
really
here.
nice, especially on that eastern side where you don't have that afternoon, like you're talking about shade.
That's
That's
astronomical
included, or-
compared to that. I know.
there are pictures of that in here as well.
See, I got excited.
So I will tell you, this final cost included a $16,000 two-bay swing set. So take about $16,000 off that and number.
So that's the 15 minus
That's the green
15
one. The green one, take off about $15,000 on that.
more,
Take
Take
off.
off.
Less.
but it already says minus 15,
Oh, but
62.
this number,
It does?
89,000 is not, I take off $15,000 of that.
So do I have your copy is what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's how much we're taking off. Still
That's
triple what
Yeah,
the elementary schools.
Yep.
Golly.
Yep.
we ordered ours in May and it was 28,000.
The one that the county
Yeah.
did was AAA, I think State of Play. And it was very generic like this, the quote that we got and the ideas are just very,
What, I mean, just for curiosity's sake, what was the total on the, or,
generic.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that much more cheaper. It
Mm.
wasn't really, we're talking a couple thousand here and there.
okay.
So.
Well, Michelle, we're talking about the total of that versus the thing is a lot of what we're doing at Milton and Bedford is we are using the existing substructures, all the cement, all of the engineering stuff has
Mhm.
already been done.
Well, and then too, if you have
So-
volunteers coming in,
That's true too.
I mean, just the layout and the construction costs are gonna be. I don't think they have that.
It was like 16,000 to install it.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna.
Yes.
LG&E installed it. We had volunteers that installed it and they provided a supervisor from the company for $1,000 that stayed with us all day and said what needed to be done and kind of follow us around.
We're talking the insulation for the labor is 14, over 14. And then the base prep and loose fill is another 14. So there's because of injuries and stuff, they have to put that like a padding or something underneath. It's like pea gravel and fabrics landscape.
That's part of this or added to it.
That's part of it.
Okay.
And then you also have, I mean, they put like almost like pylons in too, that the equipment sits on like concrete structures underground.
We poured all that at Bedford.
Oh, you
a
did?
day. We had somebody come in with the concrete truck while we,
See, at Milton, we're using existing to save money.
So, I mean, there is a possibility of getting volunteers and saving about $15,000.
if we do that, I would recommend we do get somebody that comes with playground set that works for the company that manages, supervises the volunteers.
And that's my biggest concern is, if there's anybody injured on this, something's not installed right, we're in trouble.
So
So,
they have to have a playground engineer. It's a
Mhm.
thing. That playground engineer that we were lucky enough to get for the schools is because the sales lady that sold us the equipment, her husband is a certified playground engineer.
Mm.
And we paid him, or will pay him, you guys, or they paid them separately $1,000 for the day to come and supervise and sign his name on that everything was done according to code. So
we'll have to get an inspection done and everything for that. I don't know if they provide that or not. That's something. we'll have to look
I've been
into.
on a lot of jobs where I furnish the labor and the company furnished the guy. Super,
mhm,
that goes on all the time.
right,
Have a company rep and furnish. A lot of places want to do that. We'll furnish you the rep, we get all, yeah. Mhm.
So do they, with the schools, I'm sorry to keep bringing it up, but
Yeah.
with them, I think they could only order from certain companies. Is this like KDLA has said this is okay?
I
Or
don't
do we
think
have
that
to have it?
those restrictions.
Okay, good.
yeah, because we did, because there's certain vendors that are approved
Yeah, they
by
probably charge
KDE
us more.
for that, for liability.
Yeah.
purposes.
That's the way it was where I worked. That's why the company might not be approved, but I could escort the man in and show us how to build it. Yeah, that's, you said the word right there. They weren't approved to be there.
Right.
And I can talk to KDLA again, but there's not many libraries in the state have built playgrounds. They've usually,
They're
The county.
pretty open with when we build a building and all that, right? So probably
Probably
Same.
isn't the same, yeah.
okay, I'll check on that. I also need to check on bidding processes because we are under the procurement model of the state. So anything over 30,000, we have to do closed bids. But which means we have to advertise it for like 30 days. And we can still solicit bids. But I still have to go through that process. So that makes sense.
Right.
Okay. The other one, this was a little bit industrial looking, but we like the layout and the, just the slides and the different climbing things and
Gives a lot more usage. space
Yes.
too, right? Yeah.
larger. It's 43 by 31, age group still 2 to 12. And we only quoted the unit itself. We did not do anything extra because it was so large. But we could probably, now that we know how much we have, we can probably add a few things, or maybe even that padding and just put some little tight stuff or something there. I did not like the benches they quoted us.
Really weird.
Yeah. Yep, I didn't like we need a back. Old people need support.
even if it's a young person, a mom that's got a baby that's trying to rock them or something, they
So we did quote, just to get an idea of their benches and tables. It looks like their tables, 8-foot tables for the pavilion are coming at about a little over 1,000 a piece, which I have looked through magazines and things, and that's about the going rate for those metal tables. I looked at wood picnic tables, same thing, but then you've got the maintenance.
Yeah, they don't
Can
last.
you believe that? $1,000 for a table? It's crazy.
is it the ones that have the seats attached,
Mhm,
the tables,
mhm.
metal or? what-
Yeah, they're
no,
not
it's true.
folding. I think if they're folding, I don't think they'll last.
Yeah, I don't either.
And then the benches and without the back and the arms came in at 1,200 a piece, which we want something with a back, so those aren't gonna fly.
How's a bench more than a table without a back?
How much was it?
1,200
The table's
What?
1,000. and it
for a
doesn't-
bench.
The bench doesn't even have a back. It's like just a thing
I'm
on
trying,
sticks.
I'm gonna try it. I'm looking for benches and stuff.
Is it the anchored bench?
That's just,
Yes.
That's
And I
crazy.
did, no,
I'm with you. That is crazy.
It doesn't seem like it should be more.
do
than
we
the
want
table.
them anchored?
I like that bench, but
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if
Which one are
there's,
you in?
do I have your
The ones
copy?
in the
'Cause
pavilion.
No, I don't think so.
it's written on
Yeah,
and
you-
stuff.
Oh.
This one's anchored.
Yeah,
That's
You
the
want
one
them
she
anchored.
likes.
that's the.
Which
I
one
like
is
that
it?
one
No, I
too.
like-
She, it's the same one that she.
I like
quoted us.
this one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's nicer. It's got the,
Looks
there's no
ergonomic.
hole for you to get a
Mhm.
foot caught or something for
Can't
little
crawl
ones.
through.
Yeah,
Right.
I like that one too.
but
Now,
I'm
what
sure
were you
it's
talking
probably
about anchoring?
Zion bench.
Yes.
The tables, the
benches.
benches, yeah, benches, I would say they have to be anchored with,
Yeah,
Try
you
to
wouldn't want
find
to flip it
out
on a
how
head.
they're.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting
how
back
they're
on
gonna
one.
anchor.
or the way they
Going
climb
backwards.
on
I mean,
things
I don't know
that
if
have to
they're
be
gonna pour
anchored.
concrete piers in the ground or what. You find out how they're gonna anchor them.
Okay.
So there might be a cheaper way to anchor,
Okay.
but I would anchor them because
Mhm.
they will disappear.
I think we
Yes.
poured
Oh,
concrete.
yeah,
not
not
other
kidding. I
things,
didn't
yeah.
think about that. Those
Oh,
nice
yeah.
$1,200
They'll just
benches
disappear.
being
Yeah.
gone
Those
through the
things
graveyard
aren't-
in the middle of
Those
the night.
things aren't heavy, they could go over a fence awful easy.
Yeah, well, and you can pretty much just pull up back here. It's like
Yeah,
there's nobody
in the
back
dark.
there and
Definitely
yeah.
do a camera.
I mean,
See my
Yeah,
cameras back
cameras.
there.
It's totally.
probably need
Well,
another
cameras, just for
Yeah.
liability reasons, in case something were to happen, you have a way of
Definitely have lights back there.
like.
So this
cameras.
has got rubber mulch in
Camera.
the
It does.
quote. Did the other one have the rubber mulch in the quote?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we just didn't, ask for a quote on that padding, but I think it's about
Right here.
20, I saw something in there,
21,000.
alternate padding is like 1922 per square foot.
21,000.
Yeah, I know. I wrote a grant trying to get it paid for by a grant.
And it's only 7,000 on this one.
But what's the, does it cover the same area? I'm sure that piece is actually bigger. Is that right?
How often do you have to replace rubber mulch?
You kind of have to fill as you go. Just kind of replenish. But I don't know that you ever have to like, just dig it out and refill the thing, but I don't know.
No, pretty much lasts forever. What we're gonna do, well, I don't know, do they do the same thing?
I'm
in
thinking we
Bedford?
dug it,
Raked
and
back
moved it and raked it back and
and
got
then-
some new
and
on
then
top.
Filled in,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's what we're planning to do.
Yeah, so
This is a
economically, I think it's
third of
more.
what this is.
Oh, yes, it will last forever.
It's just
So
awful.
that would be.
Oh, it's the
three
most
times
terrible
that would be
stuff.
21.
I find it everywhere.
A third of the cost.
Ruins
A third of
shoes,
the
turns
area.
white
Sonic.
shoes black.
Well, that wouldn't be
But
right because this is a
safety-wise.
lot bigger.
Yeah,
You see,
I know.
it says
Yeah.
But yeah, I find
13,
it every time I wash
33,
clothes, there's usually a
39,
pile of it in the bottom of my washing machine.
do you guys want to take this home and look at them some more, and then we'll talk more, and make a decision of like what direction we want to go, or do you just, where are you guys at? You
I
wanna-
like
Just,
this one.
this helps me, if you can tell me what you like, what you don't
I
like.
wish it was
it helps
as
me
big
to-
as the other one,
Me
because I like the
too.
design.
So it'd be like
Awesome.
74
Yeah.
Yeah,
versus 68. That doesn't look as bad.
Yeah,
74 versus
Yeah.
68.
but yeah,
If you like this one
90,000
better.
versus 60, yeah. it looks bad.
we thought the green one was probably more for younger kids, but honestly, by the age of 8 or 9, my kids were done with parks. They just were done.
Mine
It
was
says
still
2 to
fun.
12.
Yeah,
It's rated the same age as the other one,
Yeah.
even though it looks smaller and more toddlerish.
It is.
yeah.
So I don't know if kids will like, older kids will be.
What about the
Well,
occupancy?
25 to
35,
35?
and this one's 42 to 40. Like,
25
how
would
many
be enough.
do you think you ever have more than 30 kids that would be playing out there at the same time?
No,
I
and with
like
all
this
the other stuff that we're gonna have out there, if we did have a program, there would be stuff in the pavilion. They'd have the little bouncies and the, would be enough to.
Under your pavilion,
Mhm.
what kind of floor are you gonna have in there? Is it
It's
gonna be
concrete.
Okay, well, that would be a snap anchor these inside the pavilion.
Okay. You just bolt
But I
them
don't
in.
see anything, I don't see anything in here that says how they're gonna anchor anything.
No, I didn't see it either, but you can see they're supposed to.
But if there's,
Anchor.
yeah, but inside the pavilion, it's just a matter of putting some quick bolts in there.
They're concrete, right?
But
Yeah.
I'll ask about anchoring. Anchoring tables. So we don't, so you recommend even anchoring the tables in the pavilion?
Yes.
Mhm.
Those
That'd be
would
easy.
You don't
also-
That's, you just get a concrete drill, right?
Yeah, you just drill and anchor those. Is the pavilion gonna have any kind of, is it gonna be open all around?
Mhm.
Basically, it's just a roof
But I
and,
Just a
think-
roof?
and pole beams for the ends.
The only thing about anchoring, depending on the programs and stuff that you want to have, the only thing about anchoring those inside is if you have other things planned, you want to move those.
Right? You're
That
right.
would be, I mean, prohibitive.
Do we have camera back? We don't have a camera in the back of the
No, but
building right
I
now.
mean,
but
we're
we would
gonna
need
have to
to.
probably install lights, and so if there's lights back there, we can do camera as well.
Under
Yeah,
the
you won't be
pavilion,
able
with
to
a
drag
fence
them
the
around.
place.
Hmm?
We wouldn't be able to drag the tables around if we
No,
needed to.
those tables are not light.
Do you want to fence the pavilion in? I mean, that's a lot of fence,
Yeah.
but
You don't want to look like a prison.
Yeah.
Mm. The playground, I agree with you.
Yeah.
As a
One entrance and
parent,
exit.
I want, you
that
know,
one entrance.
yeah.
You only have.
And
to watch that
also,
entrance when you're
you,
watching
like you
things.
said, you don't have to have your eyes everywhere. You know, if you got your eyes on the exit, you don't
Yeah.
have to worry. So I agree with that, but
Did we come up with a price when we first started this about how much we were gonna spend?
No, I just recommended, I just told you guys, it's probably gonna be 100 to 150 with
No,
all
I had
of
120
the,
in my brain. was
something-
the estimate.
it's gonna be costly.
Do you think it's gonna be over 150
I don't think so.
if we pick this one? There's not that
Depends on-
much difference in the
No,
price.
I
really.
think if it,
6,000.
it depends on that foam padding and what you want to put in there. Do you want another smaller piece of the actual playground equipment like this, or do you just want to fill it in with little tyke stuff, which is cheap and you can replace it every 2 or 3 years, or?
But could also just.
Yes.
Very easily.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if it ain't bolted down, it doesn't need to be in there.
Oh,
Are
I've
these
seen
little- are
that. I
these
mean,
little
what,
Tikes
when
things?
you've been here for.
I mean, I know
she's
they're
talking
not
like
little
the buildings.
Tikes.
She's talking like the
Something that
little
was provided
houses
out
that
here
they can do
years
stuff
ago.
in. You know, things we can replace.
Disappeared in the middle of
You know,
the
I
night.
see what you're
There
I
was
think
saying.
planters or
a little
something.
more of
bunch of
these.
those.
little.
Or benches.
They
And
all,
like
a
the-
2-year-old
yeah.
could get up there on that.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
easily.
balance beam, and they
Yeah.
have other things that you can
Yeah,
get. I've
other
seen like
pieces.
a canoe looking thing. There's a Creasy Mayhem prospect.
Hannah, am I wrong? Years ago, wasn't there something out in the front of the building that went missing, that disappeared, like
At Milton.
in the middle of the
Milton?
night here?
Yeah.
It was, Daniel was little. He was like, I mean, it's been probably 8 or 9 years ago. Yeah.
We have baskets and artifacts go walking out the door all the time, and we don't realize it until weeks later.
Right.
I really think if you do something that needs to be bolted down,
Yeah.
it needs to be some of the more little stuff.
Unless,
Okay.
you
And
know,
I'm
with
sure
the-
those companies have other stuff.
Yeah.
But we can
Okay.
do a mixture of.
Well, and with as many benches as you guys want, there might not be a lot of room to put a lot of the extra stuff. And, if we need to add something later, we can. It'll be a little bit harder to do that, but. Is there, you guys have a preference, or do you leaning?
I think the consensus
I
is
like the
kind
green
of this
one.
one.
Yeah.
Green? I like that.
Goes with the library.
I
Yeah, I
know.
like that one too.
And I like that it's got shade, you know, it's got a little bit of.
And I think if we could get a little green canopy over it,
Mhm.
it'd just be cute.
I like that. It's very cute. The price is scary, but.
Yes.
Are there any of these designed in such a way that down the road you could add on to them? You want,
I don't know.
Adding
you all got them sent?
to these individual pieces, usually it's stuff is interchangeable, like you can take pieces out and add other pieces in.
Yeah.
But as far as like, if you wanted to add
Another structure.
anything, it would take either another structure or you would be adding little pieces
Yeah.
like these. Like if you found that you had enough space, you could always order another one of these, or a couple more of these, or, whatever. That'd be basically your only option, with that, I think, unless I'm wrong.
And then you're gonna have tables and chairs or benches, whatever, out in the area too.
Are you just doing benches in the,
I would say
Surround.
just
in the
benches.
playground and then tables in the pavilion?
You could try a table if you would like one. That might be
In the
kinda-
playground?
In the playground.
Yeah,
It's
people
different,
having having
yeah.
lunch and letting their kids play. I think that's great if you got the room.
unless you don't want food in the playground. They're gonna take it anyway.
They're gonna take it
Yeah.
anyway. Good luck enforcing that.
I was very, yeah.
And I think everything that's out there, the benches and the tables and stuff ought to be anchored, but I would give it a shot, not anchoring the ones in the pavilion.
Okay.
Because the kids are gonna move those around. Kids
Mhm.
are gonna be dragging everywhere, but people aren't just gonna go in the pavilion
And
and move a table out.
With
Just-
programming too, we gotta have it a little bit versatile.
so that you can move them around or whatever. But now those are, if they're like the ones I'm thinking of, they're super heavy. And it's gonna take like 3 or 4 of you to move them around
And
anyway.
you're gonna have a big truck and.
There's ones in, at Harry Hill, and we move them around sometimes if we have to practice dance under one of their pavilions. It takes like 4 of us to move them, and they're built like that, like the metal.
Well,
They're
and
pretty
I-
hefty.
I think they need to
It'd be
be
hard to
hefty,
carry them
just with,
Yeah.
with adults sitting on them.
Right.
I'm more worried about vandalism, really,
Mhm.
than somebody trying to steal the table. I could see them try to carve or paint or, Okay. So I'm gonna work on landscaping, and getting quotes for, I can't remember, did we want a concrete walkway or do you want to just put sod down
To the playground?
to the playground?
I think we need a walkway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, strollers, wheelchair
Yeah.
access.
Yeah.
And then fencing, I think we just need to get everything done and then we look at the space and then we can better measure where we can fence. And then signage, park hours. Also, it looks like we need lighting back there, security cameras, and gonna add that shade cover of the structure too. Okay. Real quickly, I know, I want to honor your time. We got our Chromebooks in. We ordered 5 Chromebooks that can be checked out and go to people's homes. And those are gonna have pretty tight restrictions. They gotta be for educational or career purposes. So we're gonna get those going and got to do some training on that. The quote on, came in at about $3,500 on that. I think you guys approved me for 5, so that was surprising.
How much was it again?
5,000.
Yeah.
But that's with a year's worth of internet service and
Mhm.
5 Chromebooks. So for Verizon, it was cheaper for us to go ahead and replace 30 hotspots because they signed us up under a special education line. So we did have to pay for 30 hotspots, but our line cost is gonna be $15 a line rather than 40. So that's gonna shave about $2,000 off of our internet bill for the year.
Have you had families using the, Verizon hotspots, or did you not have Verizon before? Or were they?
We had, yes, we had a waiting list.
Okay, we would see that I have about, I think I have 100 at the school
Mhm.
to help, and they're through T-Mobile, and I was just curious coverage wise if they were gonna be as good around here as Verizon, so.
And,
I don't know either.
yeah.
That was just a curiosity question, sorry.
Yeah. So we got the quote signed on that, and we're gonna go ahead, they should get here next week. And then working with Lauren Abner, she is our E-rate, you're familiar with E-rate, because I'm with the school, I'm guessing. And we'll get the paperwork files for that. That's gotta be filed August 15th, by August 15th. That was such a quick turnaround, everybody's crazy. But statistics, you guys, it's there, if you guys wanna look at them, go through those really quickly. Our visits were down again from last year. And that's, we have the days, it's pandemic related, everybody struggled this last year. Surprisingly, our circulation, it was pretty consistent. We did a lot of renewing items, but we did check out a lot too, so. Our wireless sessions at our main branch, about 3,000 uses down from last year. And our computer uses were about half from last year. That's been a trend though, but this year has definitely hurt us. Wireless sessions at our Milton branch, so we have a little digital branch out there. I don't know if you guys knew that. We have 2 computers out there, and then we have a wireless access point that makes internet available in the parking lot
At the city.
at the
Building.
city.
Municipal
I was
building.
just wondering where that was.
Yeah.
I couldn't place it when I read it. I
Yeah.
thought.
And
it was a
still,
Milton.
people are finding out about it, and it's been there 2 years now, and there's people like, oh, I didn't know that, so. So our wireless sessions, we were at a little over 1,600. Last year, we were at 965, so it's getting more usage there, and our computer sessions increased a little bit as well last year. So I feel like that's been a good service for the community there. And Milton. Overdrive is our ebook database. So we had a little bit more usage with our Overdrive from last year. And also our Hoopla is another database, books, movies, music checkout platform. Looks like we almost doubled our Hoopla checkouts. We're gonna, I think next year's will be better if we can just stay open. I will tell you, my staff worked really hard, so.
From what I saw, following the library and activities and stuff that were planned, I agree, they did work hard.
Any other questions that you guys have for me or concerns?
So did you say you have to get bids on this?
I have to like advertise it. The Trimble Library is accepting bids for a playground.
So you would then show them this and this is what we want, or they would turn in whatever?
I would take the specifications from this
Okay,
and say the playground has to be this. This is what we're looking for, this many chairs, and
and is it advertised just locally or is it on the
It's just a joke,
KDLA?
yes,
In the Trimble Banner?
yes.
Those Trumbull
for
County
30 days.
Playground installers.
Yes.
It's gonna be a bit not.
Yeah, they would be mad if you
Pretty
don't
much
do
anytime
that.
you plan to do
They need
anything
a fair
that's a state
chance.
project, you have to put that out there for bids like
But
that.
they also say you can solicit bids too, if it's a service that you cannot find in your community, but they still want you to advertise it.
And if somebody did come in with bids other than creative, it wouldn't be this structure.
Oh.
It would be their structure that fits within these specs.
This was Hayden. This was our other state of play. This is the one that got the same company the county went through.
Oh, that's cute.
I like this
I still
better.
like yours.
I still like the green.
I do too.
It's just
Yeah,
black
this,
on
this, everything just gelled. This, it was just, you could tell it was made, the Springer things were made from different companies and it just didn't, the theme and everything didn't come together, so. You will make my staff very happy that
everything.
you like this.
So
'cause
it's
they
just like
loved
the
it.
tree
It does, it looks
logo.
like
It
one.
does.
Yeah.
It does.
This match is so good.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.